The large chamber fell silent as the human delegation entered. Commander Jack Adams walked with confidence despite being the first human to ever set foot in the Galactic Council's Grand Hall. At his side trotted Rex, a German shepherd with alert ears and intelligent eyes. "The humans have arrived," announced the council speaker, a tall blue-skinned being with 4 arms. "They come in peace and seek to join our galactic community." Jack straightened his uniform and nodded respectfully to the assembled aliens. Hundreds of different species filled the curved seats of the chamber, some with multiple limbs, others with none at all. Some floated in special tanks, while others required environmental suits to survive in the shared atmosphere. "Thank you for welcoming us," Jack said clearly. "Earth is honored to be considered for membership in your esteemed council." Rex sat obediently at Jack's side, his tail occasionally sweeping the polished floor. Several alien representatives leaned forward in their seats, eyes or sensory organs fixed on the dog with obvious curiosity. From the central platform, a muscular, purple-skinned alien with a ridge of bony plates running down his head snorted loudly. This was Commander Thull of the Vraxian Empire, known throughout the galaxy as fearsome warriors. "This is what Earth sends as its champion." Thull's voice boomed through the chamber. "One small bite and it's pet." The translator rendered the last word with clear disdain. Jack maintained his diplomatic smile. "I am not a champion, Commander Thull. I am simply a representative of humanity, chosen to establish peaceful relations." Thull rose from his seat, towering nearly 8 feet tall. His armor gleamed under the chamber lights as he pointed a clawed finger at Jack. "The Vraxian Empire has studied your transmissions. We know of Earth's history of violence. You claim peace while bringing a predator beast into our sacred chamber." Murmurs spread through the alien delegates. Rex's ears perked up at the commotion, but he remained seated. "Rex is a service animal," Jack explained calmly. "He's highly trained and completely safe." Thull's facial ridges flushed a deeper purple. "You mock us by bringing your war beast here and claiming it's harmless. Do you think we are fools?" The council speaker raised 2 of his 4 hands. "Commander Thull, please control yourself. The human delegation has followed all protocols." But Thull was not satisfied. He turned to his aides and barked an order. "Show them what a real war beast looks like. Bring forth the Droth." A side door opened, and 2 Vraxian soldiers entered, struggling to control something on heavy chains. Jack's diplomatic training hadn't prepared him for this. He watched with growing concern as the soldiers pulled the chains taut. Rex remained calm, though his posture had stiffened slightly. "What exactly is happening?" Jack asked the council speaker. "I apologize," the speaker replied. "Commander Thull appears to be making a point." Thull's laughter echoed through the chamber. "Yes, a point about strength. Your species thinks it can join us as equals." He gestured dramatically toward his soldiers. "Unleash the beast." The soldiers fumbled with the restraints as Thull's order echoed. Several council members shuffled nervously in their seats, clearly uncomfortable with this display. Jack noticed Rex looking up at him expectantly. The dog had been trained to recognize certain phrases as commands, and apparently "unleash the beast" sounded enough like release to catch his attention. Not wanting Rex to feel confused, Jack reached down and unclipped his leash. "What a cute pup," Jack said affectionately, giving Rex a gentle pat. "Go ahead, boy. You're free." Rex wagged his tail and took a few steps forward, completely relaxed and looking around with friendly curiosity at the assembled aliens. The entire council chamber froze. Thull's face contorted in shock. You just released your war beast," a nearby delegate whispered in horror. Jack looked confused. "My what?" "Rex isn't a war beast. He's just a dog." Rex sat down and yawned, completely oblivious to the terror he was apparently causing. And that was how humanity's first diplomatic mission to the stars began, with a profound misunderstanding about a very good boy. The moment of confusion extended as Rex tilted his head, watching the Vraxian soldiers with mild interest. Jack noticed the strange silence and looked around at the council members. Many had backed away from their seats or raised protective shields. "Is everything all right?" Jack asked, genuinely confused. His question was answered by a deafening roar that shook the chamber. The Vraxian soldiers had finally managed to release their restraints, and what emerged made Jack's blood run cold. The creature that lunged forward was massive, at least the size of a rhinoceros, but with 6 muscular legs ending in dagger-like claws. Its head featured multiple rows of teeth that gleamed under the lights, and armored plates covered its back. A whip-like tail lashed behind it, cracking against the floor with enough force to chip the stone. "Behold the Droth," Thol proclaimed proudly. "A true war beast bred for combat through generations." The council erupted in panic. Delegates scrambled over each other, some taking flight while others dove beneath their seats. The council speaker frantically pressed emergency buttons on the central podium. "Containment breach. Security to the main chamber immediately." The speaker shouted into a communication device. Jack stood frozen, his military training battling with his shock. "Rex, come," he commanded sharply. To everyone's surprise, Rex trotted back to Jack's side, sitting calmly as the chaos unfolded. The dog seemed more curious than frightened by the monster that was now sniffing the air and growling. "Why aren't you running?" gasped a small green alien who had taken shelter behind Jack. "Should I be?" Jack asked, keeping his voice steady while his mind raced through options. He had no weapons, just standard diplomatic gear. The Droth locked its multiple eyes on Rex, who responded with a single bark. The sound, though ordinary to Jack, caused the massive creature to hesitate. "Impossible," Thol muttered, his confidence wavering. "The Earth beast shows no fear." Jack slowly pieced together what was happening. "Commander Thol, there seems to be a misunderstanding. Rex is a companion animal, not a war creature." "Lies," Thol spat. "We've seen your Earth transmissions. Your dogs are descendants of wolves, pack hunters that bring down prey many times their size." Jack almost laughed despite the danger. "Yes, dogs evolved from wolves, but through thousands of years of domestication. They're partners, not weapons." The Droth took a threatening step toward them. Rex stood up but remained beside Jack, his posture alert but not aggressive. An elderly alien with translucent skin floated forward on a hover platform. "If I may, Council Speaker," the being said in a whispery voice, "I believe I understand the confusion." All eyes turned to the elder. "The Vraxians' research is not wrong, but incomplete," the elder continued. "Their cultural analysts focused on ancient Earth transmissions showing wolves hunting and documentaries about military working dogs. They concluded that Earth canines are apex predators used as biological weapons." Jack nodded slowly. "I see the problem. Context matters. Yes, dogs have been used in military and police work, but most are simply companions. Rex here is trained for search and rescue operations." As if understanding his role in the discussion, Rex wagged his tail. The Droth, seemingly confused by the lack of fear from its supposed opponent, let out another roar and charged forward. Security personnel were still nowhere to be seen. "Rex, down," Jack commanded firmly. To the amazement of the council, Rex immediately dropped flat to the floor. The Droth, not expecting this response, skidded to a halt, its primitive brain struggling to process the non-threatening behavior. Jack calmly reached into his pocket and pulled out a small training clicker and a treat. He clicked once, and Rex remained perfectly still despite the monster looming over him. "This is how we work with dogs," Jack explained to the stunned audience. "Through trust and positive reinforcement, not fear or dominance." The Droth sniffed at Rex, who remained still until Jack clicked again and said, "Say hello, Rex." Rex lifted his head and gave a friendly lick to the armored nose of the bewildered Droth. The massive creature jerked back in surprise, making a sound that might have been confusion. Thol's facial ridges had turned pale. "What kind of sorcery is this?" he demanded. "No creature approaches a Droth willingly." "Not sorcery," Jack replied with a small smile. Just friendship. The security team finally burst into the chamber, wielding energy restraints and stun weapons. They froze at the bizarre scene. A small Earth dog sitting calmly next to a confused Droth, while the human representative stood nearby without a trace of fear. Stand down. The council speaker ordered the security team. The situation appears under control. Thul's pride was visibly wounded. His fearsome war beast, bred through centuries of selective breeding and genetic manipulation, was being made to look foolish by a creature a fraction of its size. This proves nothing. Thul's voice boomed across the now quieting chamber. A momentary confusion, nothing more. The Droth is still the superior combat organism in every measurable way. Jack scratched behind Rex's ears as the dog returned to his side. Commander Thul, we didn't come here to compete or prove superiority. Earth seeks peaceful cooperation with the galactic community. The delegates began returning to their seats, murmuring among themselves. Many were recording the interaction with various devices, clearly fascinated by the unexpected turn of events. Thul slammed his fist against the railing of his platform. I challenge you, human. A formal contest between our beasts. Let us settle this question of superiority once and for all. The council speaker raised all four hands. Commander Thul, this is highly irregular. The admission process for new species does not include combat trials. Not combat, Thul clarified, his tactical mind working quickly. A demonstration of capabilities. The Galactic Charter allows for cultural exchange exhibitions, does it not? The speaker consulted briefly with other council officials before reluctantly nodding. That is technically correct, though this is an unusual interpretation. Jack felt trapped. Refusing would make humanity appear weak at their first galactic appearance, but accepting seemed needlessly confrontational. What exactly would this demonstration involve? Jack asked carefully. A tall insectoid delegate stepped forward. If I may suggest a framework. I am Delegate Prill of the Arthax Collective. We specialize in multi-species cooperation projects. The speaker gestured for Prill to continue. A three-part challenge. Prill clicked through mandibles that the translator rendered into smooth speech. First, a test of control and obedience. Second, a test of problem-solving abilities. Third, a test of practical application in varied environments. No direct combat, merely a comparative demonstration. The chamber buzzed with interest. Even delegates who had initially been frightened seemed intrigued by the proposal. Jack looked down at Rex, who gazed back with complete trust. The dog had been through military training, disaster response scenarios, and countless search and rescue operations. This wasn't what Jack had expected from his diplomatic mission, but perhaps it was an opportunity to showcase the unique human-animal bond. Before I agree to anything, Jack said, I need to consult with my superiors on Earth. Of course, the speaker agreed. We will recess for one standard rotation. Thul snorted. The human needs permission. How typical of a hierarchical species lacking autonomy. Jack kept his diplomatic composure. Actually, Commander, I simply believe in making informed decisions. Rex and I have worked together for years, but this is a first contact situation. I'd like guidance from experts who specialize in interspecies relations. A ripple of approval moved through many of the delegates. The concept of seeking additional expertise before making decisions appeared to resonate with several species. During the recess, Jack was escorted to private quarters with communications equipment compatible with Earth technology. Rex trotted alongside him, occasionally glancing back at the Droth, which was being led away by its handlers. What do you think, boy? Jack asked when they were alone. Should we show them what Earth dogs can really do? Rex wagged his tail and placed a paw on Jack's knee. From the doorway, Delegate Prill observed silently. Fascinating, the insectoid being chittered softly. The human speaks to the animal as an equal, and the animal responds with apparent understanding. Perhaps there is more to learn from Earth than we anticipated. The challenge was set. Within 24 hours, the first official competition between an Earth dog and a Vraxian Droth would begin, and the reputation of humanity in the galactic community hung in the balance. Jack paced the small chamber provided by the Council for Earth's delegation. He had just finished a lengthy discussion with his superiors back on Earth. Their decision: proceed with the challenge. Looks like we're doing this, Rex, Jack said, kneeling beside his companion. Command thinks it's a good way to show how humans work with animals instead of controlling them. Rex responded with a soft woof and nudged Jack's hand with his nose. A chime sounded, indicating a visitor. Jack opened the door to find Delegate Prill standing there, multiple limbs folded politely. Human Adams, the Council has approved a training period before the formal challenge. You have been allocated space in the eastern quadrant of the station. Commander Thul has already begun preparing his Droth. Jack nodded. Thank you, Delegate. We could use the practice time. As he followed Prill through the station's winding corridors, Jack noticed many aliens stopping to observe Rex. Some showed fear, others curiosity, but all paid attention. Your companion draws much interest, Prill noted. Many species here have never seen a creature that works willingly with another species without restraints or control devices. That's the beauty of our relationship with dogs, Jack explained. It's built on mutual trust and respect, not dominance. They arrived at a large open area with various obstacles and equipment. On the far side, separated by a transparent barrier, Thul was working with the Droth. Jack watched as Thul shouted commands at the massive creature, emphasizing each order with a shock prod. The Droth roared in anger, but eventually complied, smashing through metal targets with its armored head. Interesting contrast in methods, Prill observed. Jack nodded grimly. Let's show them our way. For the next few hours, Jack worked with Rex on various commands and scenarios. They practiced search patterns, agility courses, and scent identification, all skills that might prove useful in the upcoming challenge. During a short break, Jack sat on the floor with Rex resting against his leg. He thought back to when they first met 6 years ago. Remember the training center, boy? Jack stroked Rex's fur. You were just 2 years old, already washed out of police training for being too gentle. Their loss was my gain. Rex had been labeled as lacking the aggression needed for police work, but his intelligence and calm temperament made him perfect for search and rescue operations. Their first mission together had been a collapsed building after an earthquake. Rex had found 3 survivors that scanning equipment had missed. Jack's reminiscing was interrupted by a loud crash from across the room. The Droth had broken free from its restraints and was charging toward the barrier separating the training areas. Rex, behind me, Jack commanded calmly. The Droth slammed into the barrier, which held but vibrated alarmingly. The creature roared, its multiple eyes fixed on Rex. Jack remained steady, positioning himself between Rex and the threat. Several Council security officers rushed in, along with Thul, who was shouting angrily at his beast. The Droth ignored him completely, continuing to throw itself against the barrier. Control your war beast, Commander, one security officer demanded. Thul jabbed his shock prod repeatedly, but the Droth was beyond responding to pain. It was fixated on Rex, who remained calmly sitting behind Jack. Finally, after a tense standoff, Jack had an idea. He looked at Rex and made a quick hand signal. Rex immediately lay down and rolled onto his side, exposing his belly, a clear, submissive position. The effect was immediate and surprising. The Droth stopped its assault, tilting its massive head in confusion. The aggressive display had prepared it for a fight, not submission. Thul took advantage of the moment to secure the creature with reinforced restraints. He glared at Jack. A trick. You made your beast appear weak deliberately. Jack shook his head. Not a trick, Commander. Communication. Rex diffused the situation by sending a clear message. I'm not a threat. Delegate Prill clicked thoughtfully. Most impressive. The small Earth creature demonstrated greater control of the situation than the Droth and its handler combined. Other council members who had gathered to watch nodded in agreement. Thol's face darkened with anger. The real challenge begins tomorrow. We'll see who is superior when real obstacles are faced. As the commander stormed away with his restrained war beast, Jack knelt and rubbed Rex's belly. Good boy. Tomorrow will be interesting, but I think we just won our first point in the court of public opinion. The gathered aliens continued to watch, many recording the interaction with obvious fascination at the bond between human and dog. The exhibition hall buzzed with excitement. Nearly every member of the Galactic Council had gathered to witness the unusual contest between Earth's canine and the Vraxian Droth. Holographic displays hovered throughout the chamber, ensuring everyone could see the action regardless of their position. "Welcome to this special cultural exchange event," announced the council speaker. "Today we observe the capabilities of two very different species working with their respective handlers." Jack stood calmly at the entrance to the challenge course, Rex sitting attentively at his side. Across the hall, Thol struggled to keep the Droth under control, the massive beast straining against its reinforced restraints. The first challenge tests obedience and precision. The speaker continued. Each creature must navigate the marked course, interacting with specific targets while avoiding others. A series of platforms, tunnels, and obstacles filled the center of the chamber. Some objects glowed blue, others red. The course looked simple enough, but Jack knew appearances could be deceiving. "The Vraxian team will begin," declared the speaker. Thol released the Droth with a sharp command. The beast hesitated, then charged forward into the course. It smashed through the first blue target successfully, but then immediately crashed into a red obstacle that it should have avoided. Alarms blared, and penalty points flashed on the scoreboard. "Stupid beast," Thol shouted, his voice echoing through the chamber. He raised his control rod, sending painful stimuli to the creature's neural implants. The Droth roared in anger but corrected its path. It completed the remainder of the course with brute force, destroying most of the blue targets rather than simply touching them as required. When the Droth finished, the course was partly in ruins. Maintenance drones rushed to repair the damage before Earth's turn. "And enthusiastic performance," the speaker commented diplomatically. "The Earth team may now begin when repairs are complete." Jack used the waiting time to kneel beside Rex. "Remember our training," he said quietly. "Slow and steady, just like we practiced." When the course was ready, Jack gave a simple command. "Rex, course." Rex trotted forward confidently. He navigated between obstacles with precision, touching each blue target gently with his nose or paw. When faced with red objects, he carefully moved around them. At one point, he encountered a narrow tunnel that required him to crawl on his belly. He did so without hesitation. The audience watched in stunned silence. The contrast between the Droth's destructive approach and Rex's careful navigation could not have been more stark. For the final element, both creatures had to retrieve an object and return it to their handler. The Droth had simply crushed its target and dragged the remains back. Rex gently picked up the small cylinder in his mouth and trotted back to Jack, tail wagging. "Perfect demonstration, boy," Jack said, rewarding Rex with a small treat and affectionate ear scratch. The scoreboard flashed with the results. Earth's team had significantly outperformed the Vraxians on precision and control. Thol stomped forward, his face contorted with anger. "This proves nothing. The second challenge will demonstrate true power and courage." The speaker raised two hands for calm. "The second challenge tests problem-solving abilities." This time, both teams faced different puzzles. The Droth was presented with a series of barriers it needed to break through to reach food. Rex was given a more complex task, retrieving objects from containers with various opening mechanisms. Again, the difference in approaches was dramatic. The Droth smashed through everything, while Rex methodically figured out how to open latches, pull strings, and press levers to accomplish his task. "Remarkable intelligence," whispered one council member loud enough for others to hear. "Indeed," agreed another. The Earth creature understands cause and effect. Rex completed his challenge in half the time it took the Dronth to finish its simpler task. The scoreboard updated again, with Earth taking a clear lead. Thull was now visibly fuming. The final challenge will settle this. Your small beast may be clever, but when facing real danger, only size and strength matter. Jack looked down at Rex, who seemed completely unfazed by the commotion. Ready for round 3, partner. Rex's steady gaze met Jack's, communication flowing between them without words. From her observation platform, Delegate Prill leaned toward a colleague. Notice how they coordinate without force or pain. It's as if they share thoughts. Or perhaps, replied her colleague, they simply share trust. The final challenge was about to begin, and the fate of Earth's first impression on the galactic stage hung in the balance. The final challenge will test practical application in changing environments, announced the council speaker as the chamber reconfigured itself. The center of the hall transformed into a simulated disaster zone. Rubble, smoke, and obstacles created a chaotic landscape. Holographic victims of various alien species appeared scattered throughout the scene, some hidden under debris, others trapped in hard-to-reach places. Each team must locate and reach 5 victims within the time limit, explained the speaker. Points are awarded for speed, care, and successful extraction. Thull stepped forward with the Dronth. This challenge finally favors true strength. My war beast will show you what power means. Jack remained calm. Search and rescue isn't about power, Commander. It's about precision and care. The Vraxian team went first. Thull directed his beast into the simulated disaster zone, shouting commands and using his control rod when the creature deviated from his instructions. The Dronth's approach was straightforward. It smashed through obstacles to reach victims, often causing more damage in the process. Careful, shouted a council technician as the Dronth's powerful tail knocked over a support beam, causing a secondary collapse in the simulation. By the time the Dronth had located 3 victims, it had triggered multiple structural failures in the simulated environment. The 4th victim was buried under new debris caused by the beast itself. Time expired, announced the speaker. The Vraxian team has recovered 3 victims, with 2 remaining unfound. Thull growled in frustration, striking his control rod against his armor. The simulation is flawed. My beast performed perfectly. Jack and Rex took their positions at the entrance to the now reset disaster zone. Ready, Rex? Find them. Rex began methodically working through the area, nose to the ground, carefully navigating unstable surfaces. When he located the first victim, he gave a single bark and waited for Jack to follow. Good boy, Jack praised as they reached the first holographic alien, trapped under light debris. Jack demonstrated the careful extraction technique they would use in a real scenario. The audience watched in fascination as human and dog worked as a perfect team. Rex found each victim quickly, never causing additional damage to the surroundings. Jack followed, showing how the rescue would be completed. They were working on their 4th successful extraction when a real alarm sounded. This is not part of the simulation, the speaker announced urgently. We have an actual structural failure in Sector 7 of the station. The simulation disappeared, revealing real chaos. A support column near the chamber's edge had buckled under stress, and part of the viewing platform was collapsing. Several alien delegates were trapped as the structure continued to fail. Security personnel rushed toward the danger zone, but hesitated as pieces of ceiling began to fall. Without waiting for orders, Jack turned to Rex. Rex, search. The dog immediately ran toward the distressed sounds, Jack following close behind. They reached the damaged section ahead of the security team. Stay back, Jack called to others. The structure is unstable. Rex carefully moved onto the damaged platform, which groaned under even his light weight. He sniffed along the edge, then barked sharply at a particular section where 2 delegates were pinned by fallen debris. Jack assessed the situation quickly. The whole section could go any minute. We need to move fast, but carefully. Meanwhile, Thol was struggling to control the Droth, which had become agitated by the real emergency. The beast roared and pulled against its restraints, sensing the panic in the chamber. "Release it," ordered a council security chief. "We need its strength to lift the heavy debris." Thol hesitated, then dropped the restraints. "Droth, forward." The massive creature charged toward the collapse, but as it approached the damaged area, it stopped abruptly, refusing to step onto the unstable platform. No amount of commanding from Thol could make it proceed. "It won't go," Thol admitted, genuine concern replacing his previous arrogance. "The structure won't support its weight." Rex, meanwhile, had found a safe path to the trapped delegates. He carefully moved between broken sections, showing Jack where to step. "I see what he's doing," Jack explained to the security team. "He's finding the stable points in the structure. Follow exactly where he steps, and we can reach the victims safely." Working together, Jack, Rex, and several security officers formed a rescue chain. Rex would find each stable section. Jack would follow and help secure it, and the security team would carefully extract the trapped delegates. Within minutes, they had saved all the trapped council members. As the last delegate was brought to safety, the damaged section finally gave way completely, crashing down into the levels below with a thunderous roar. The chamber fell silent as everyone processed how close they had come to disaster. Rex returned to Jack's side, alert but calm despite the chaos around them. Jack knelt and hugged his partner tightly. "That," said the council speaker with quiet awe, "was not a simulation." The emergency response teams worked efficiently to secure the damaged area of the council chamber. Medical personnel attended to the rescued delegates, who suffered only minor injuries thanks to the quick action of Jack and Rex. Jack sat on a bench in a quiet corner, Rex resting at his feet. The dog was tired but content, occasionally accepting gentle pats from curious aliens who cautiously approached to express their gratitude. "Your companion saved lives today," said the council speaker, approaching with Delegate Prill and several other council members. "That was extraordinary work." Jack smiled and scratched behind Rex's ears. "This is what we do back on Earth." Rex is a search and rescue specialist. He's found dozens of people in collapsed buildings, avalanches, and disaster zones. Commander Thol stood at the edge of the group, his earlier bravado noticeably diminished. After a moment of apparent internal struggle, he stepped forward. "Human Adams," Thol said formally, "I must acknowledge that your methods have merit." Jack nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Commander. Your Droth is an impressive creature as well." "But it failed when truly needed," Thol admitted, his voice lower. "It refused to enter the danger zone despite my commands." "That's not failure," Jack replied. "That's self-preservation. The platform wouldn't have supported its weight. If it had tried to help, it might have caused a complete collapse." This perspective seemed to surprise Thol. "You defend its refusal to obey." "I'm saying sometimes the handler needs to listen to the animal," Jack explained. "Rex and I work as partners. When he shows hesitation, I pay attention. He often senses dangers I can't see." The council speaker raised all four hands to address the gathered crowd. "I believe we have witnessed something profound today. The competition between the Earth Dog and Vraxian Droth is officially declared a draw." Murmurs spread through the audience, but the speaker continued. "However, the practical demonstration of Earth's approach to animal partnerships has shown us something unexpected and valuable. The Council votes to grant Earth provisional membership status, effective immediately." Applause and various sounds of approval echoed through the chamber. Jack felt a wave of relief and pride wash over him. Their first diplomatic mission had succeeded, though in a way no one could have predicted. Later, as the formal proceedings concluded, Jack found himself in a quieter observation deck with Rex, looking out at the stars. The door slid open, and Thol entered, this time without his imposing armor. "May I join you?" the Vraxian asked, his tone respectful. Jack nodded, and Thol sat on a bench designed for his larger frame. The Droth has been returned to our ship, Thull said after a moment. It is resting. It deserves rest, Jack replied. Today was stressful for everyone. Thull watched as Rex dozed peacefully. My people have always believed that dominance is the only way to control powerful creatures. We breed for aggression and size, then use pain and fear to ensure obedience. On Earth, we tried that approach for thousands of years, Jack explained. But we discovered something better. Trust and mutual respect create stronger bonds than fear ever could. Could such methods work with a Droth? Thull asked, genuine curiosity in his voice. Jack considered the question carefully. I believe so, though it might take generations. The first step would be to breed for intelligence and temperament rather than just size and aggression. As they spoke, a small maintenance robot entered the room, cleaning the floor. Rex opened one eye to observe it, then closed it again, unbothered. Your beast shows no fear or aggression toward the machine, Thull noted. Rex understands it's not a threat, Jack explained. Dogs are remarkably good at reading situations and adapting. Thull stood and approached the viewport. Perhaps the Vraxian Empire has something to learn from Earth after all. Before leaving, Thull made an unexpected request. Would your companion accept contact from me? Jack smiled. Rex, say hello to the commander. Rex stood, stretched, and walked over to Thull. The massive Vraxian carefully extended a hand. After sniffing it thoroughly, Rex allowed Thull to gently pat his head. Remarkable, Thull whispered, a new respect evident in his voice. As Rex returned to Jack's side, the council speaker entered with a formal document. Earth's provisional membership is official, the speaker announced, and we have received 17 requests from member species for information about Earth's animal partnership techniques. Jack looked down at Rex, who wagged his tail as if understanding the significance of the moment. In the ship's kennel, the Droth watched through the bars as a Vraxian caretaker approached with food. For the first time, there was no shock prod in the handler's hand, just the meal and a cautious willingness to try something new. The universe had much to learn from humanity, and it had all begun with a simple misunderstanding about a very good boy.